Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have for you a deep dive into one of my favorite areas of coin collecting, and that is an area known as Electrum. Now, Electrum are gold and silver coins, mostly from the 500, 450, 600 BC range. And what's fun about these coins is a combination of things. Now, I know they're not solid gold, but I use the term gold. There are tons of different designs, and they are what I consider to be relatively affordable. And they are among some of the earliest forms of coinage available in the market. So we're going to look at, most of them are going to be what's called an hecte. Hecte is a sixth of a stater. So most of these are going to weigh about 2.5 grams. So they were pretty good about getting their unit sizes. So let's take a look at this one here. Good thing we've got NGC to tell us, amongst the other things, what the name of the coin is, the hecte. And then most of them have this, well, many of them have this little, what I used to call like a quadrifoil on the back, but it's actually called a what that word is. There it is. There, you can just read it yourself. Quadripartite incuse punch. So this one's from Mycia, from 450 to 350 BC. They call it a VG with a strong strike and a high surface quality, and it has Orestes on follow. So you've got an actual individual on this coin, which is pretty cool. Most of the tags you're going to see on here are not my tags or someone else's tags, but the prices are probably similar. I mean, a lot of the coins you can pick up for like $300 to $500. So we're going to go through a bunch of these. This one is really cool. This one is also from Mycia. This one is 500 to 450 BC. This has a lion on it on one side. And so you can see his head's to the left, which is kind of hard to see, and then the tail's to the right. And he's on top of a fish, a tunny fish, which is going to be a reoccurring theme on a lot of these, because that was a very important part of their culture, was the fish. This does not have the full description on it. They just call it a VG. It also has the quad incuse punch on the back, and a very cool piece. I mean, how cool is that for just a couple $100? Now, as you get into the coins that were a little bit more modern, shall we say, like this coin here is from Ionia, and this one has a real nice head on it, and this is actually Hermes. And the reverse has, once again, the incuse punch on it. This one's a little bit more, shall we say, modern, in that it's from 477 to 388 BC. And but the design elements and the quality of the portraits is one of my favorite things on all of these coins. The ones that become more modern, you get to see, I think, just really cool examples of what the headdress would have been like for these people. How they dressed, and the artwork. I mean, look at how nicely engraved those dies were. This is from the island of Lesbos, and this is circa 377 to 326. This one has two heads on it, which is really cool. And once again, look at the design elements on that. Just look at how nice that is, the production quality overall that they had on that. And this one, NGC called an extra fine, with just kind of average strike and surface quality at 3 out of 3. And the obverse had, let's get this to zoom in on the right thing. So look, I'm sorry, from where I live, a caballeros is a cowboy, but I think that actually is probably something completely different. And the reverse, Persephone. So they actually have either people or allegories of stories on them. So let's take a look here at the next one up. Okay, so this one's a little harder to see. This is also from the island of Lesbos. This is from 521 to 478 BC. And this one has a winged boar, which is really a hard design to kind of make out. You can see a lot of the feathers and wings. It's kind of hard to make out the boar portion. And the reverse actually has an incuse lion's head. Let me see here. Come on now. So it was an incuse punch. So before before there was the silver, before there was the okay, let me get this right so I can show it to you. All right, here's the correct way to look at it. Now we've got it. So there's two dots kind of up near the center, or not eyes. One is an eye, the one on the right's an eye, and he's facing to the right and his mouth is wide open. And the other dot to the left is his ear, and then all up and down the center of the design is the mane, right? So before there were the Native American or Indian head $2.5 and $5 gold pieces, there were incuse designs for coins from 500 BC. So how's that for a cool design? And one more for amazing designs. This one, the obverse is Demeter. Look at that for a design. Look how lovely that is, how well struck up it is. It's interesting because NGC only gave a strike quality of 3 on this coin, surface quality of 4, but they called it an extra fine overall. Now the reverse, you can just make out a portion of the stand that it's off center a little bit, and that may be why they called the strike only a 3, because this is really off center on the back, but it was a tripod on the back. And so this is also from the 370s BC. So the L hectaes are a 1/6 of a stater, like I mentioned before, but there were smaller ones that were the 1/12 of the stater. So this is really a special piece, special in the fact that it's something you don't see every day. It's actually a lot more scarce and valuable, and it looks just like a chunk of metal. And it is some of the earliest coinage, and it just has a punch design, and they were put together by weight. It almost looks like a weight, like a fishing weight. But these are from Ionia, from 600 to 550 BC, and it's a 1/12 of a stater. And really, really neat. Some of the earliest types of currency and coinage did not have designs, but they had standardized weights. So this weighs a little bit over a gram. And then after the 1/12ths, you had, let me go, I've got one more 1/12 here. This is also from a similar time period, 600 to 500 BC, but it's got the tunny fish between a head and a tail of a tunny fish. So, it's like a triple design. So it's got the full fish down the center, and then it had a tail fin and a head on it. And look at the character on that coin, the little crack marks on the edges. And then the reverse had the quad imprint on it. Really strong strike. And this coin they called Choice VF with a strike of 5 and a surface quality, a strike and surface of 4 out of 5. So the 1/12 of a stater also just over, like a gram and a third on that piece. And then finally I have two that are actually a 24th. Now these coins actually go to 1/96. The 1/96 are super rare and they look like a grain of sand. They're hard to verify that they're real. This one is another early piece that has an uncertain design with an incuse punch on the back. So you see some of them that'll be just a dolphin or a turtle or a fish. And this actually looks to me like, it could be one of those aquatic animals, but they said uncertain design. But it actually had a design to it. And then it had just an incuse punch design on the reverse of it on the backside. So very, very cool coin. And some of the smaller ones are even more expensive than the bigger ones. So this is probably a $300 coin on that. But the 1/48ths and the 1/96 are extremely expensive coins. So this one, which doesn't look like much of anything, is considered to be a seal's head. That's the design. So it's just basically a head with an eyeball and a mouth. And this is also a 1/24th stater. with just the incuse punch reverse design. This one is also from Ionia, and they call it a VF with strong strike and strong surface finish. 625 to 522 BC. Just really some amazing stuff, guys. I hope you enjoyed that deep dive into the Electrums. Mostly the L hectaes, but you also have some 24ths and some 12ths. Overall, among one of my favorite areas to collect, and you can hopefully see why. And maybe it's the type of thing that you've never considered getting into, but now that you can see that they're out there, they're identified nicely by NGC, and they're relatively affordable, and most of these coins are going to be less than $500. I know that's a lot of money, but still, when you look at, I think, the value of what you're getting compared to what people spend $500 on today, you know, it really comes out to be a nice value for the collector who wants to get into a new area to collect. Thanks so much for watching. I've been the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.